Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another live episode of Jacob's Ladder. I am your host, Jacob Israel, and I am glad that you're all here. I didn't put any notices out. I didn't put any feelers out. I didn't let anybody know that I was going live. I just figured, you know what, I'm just going to go live and let the people that are attached to the channel, that have hit that subscription, they've subscribed and they've checked for notifications, let them be blessed by it. Jumping through hoops, trying to share links on, channels like X and Facebook and all the other places that block me and hinder my growth. What's the point? You know what the point is? All of you. So I'm happy you're here. Do me a favor and smash the like and let people know that we're here. Take a look at this thumbnail, huh? This is the world we're living in. Awake, but not woke. That was the old CPAC. They're all getting together. They all do the hurrahs. It's a little cringy. As far as I'm concerned, a little cringy. Especially when everything is so on a razor's edge right now. Everybody's so stressed out. Why wouldn't you be? My goodness gracious. A lot of people losing their jobs. IRS just got rid of like 7,000 people. They were like, I guess from what I read, they were probationary. So I guess they were new. People losing their jobs. Everything's changing. Everything's changing. Post office is next. They're going to privatize it. Very strange, but this is the day, right? This is the day. Now you got Putin saying that he's ready to work together with Elon. Remember a while ago when everybody was like, oh, he's having secret meetings. And it's like, well, world leaders should get in touch with world leaders. I kind of knew it was coming. So it's like, what's the point of fighting it, right? It's here. It is what it is. You better hope that God is on your side because I'll tell you, it's getting a little stressful. It's getting a little stressful. Take a look at this thumbnail because I really, I just love the whole look of this, okay? Especially since I said the king is coming for a long time. The king's here based on King Nebuchadnezzar, which, obviously, before he lost the election, I had a feeling he would. Then right afterwards, before the inauguration of Biden, did a whole thing about King Nebuchadnezzar, how he's coming. And what did they read? They read the actual prayer from Daniel about Nebuchadnezzar. That's the last thing that's spoken of before President Donald Trump is sworn in, which he didn't swear in a Bible. A lot of people were upset about that. But once again, who are you supposed to swear by? You're supposed to swear by God. This is the thing. You don't know if things are going to be good for you. You don't know if they're going to be bad for you. You don't know if they're villains. You don't know if they're heroes. Sometimes the people you put your faith in and your trust in turn out to be bad. Hey, what do you think of this? I'm trying to look all like Mean Street Posse from back in the day. If you watched wrestling, you'll know what I mean. I just like this. It's a very comfortable sweater. Thank you so much for the super chat, Jim. Got a lot of people here already. I guess we're just going to have to carry on. We're going to get to where we need to be, and it's going to be all right. Okay, so let's just take a look at this because, obviously you probably heard Elon was going a little nuts with the old chainsaw. This is something that clearly he got from Millie, who's now embroiled in a whole crypto scam. Believe it or not, the people that were behind Millie's little crypto scam, they're also connected to Melania Coin and all of this stuff. The whole thing is so sus. You don't know what to believe. You don't know what to think. You don't know who to put your trust in. So I tell people, put your trust in God. Be kind to the people around you. This is going to get weird, okay? This is going to get weird. So long before Elon was firing people and going on stage dressed up like a meme, I did a video where, and you can take a look at it on the left-hand side. You'll see it says Baptism of the Fired. Now, I find this interesting. Because if you look at the time that I actually posted that on X, his platform, it was 2:20. That was on, obviously, 11/22/2023. This is about a year, 2 months, and 30 days ago. Get that 1, 2, 3 in there, right? And take a look at what happened on 2:20. He whips out the very chainsaw that I put right next to him, sitting on the old couch there as the Godfather, because that show was about him posting out something about the Godfather, Michael, and the baptism scene, and how everybody's going to be, taken care of when they take over. This was obviously before Doge and everything else. The dawn of a new day is here. Elon, Malay, Trump, the Great Reset, and more. And man, do you feel like you're in the Great Reset? This is a reset, right? Am I not the only one that feels like I'm in a reset? I feel like everything's being reset. But how strange is it that here he is with the chainsaw on 220. I posted 220. The Doge Father in the background. He's the Godfather right there. Baptism of the fired. And now what is he doing? He's firing everybody. How did I know? How did I know? You pay attention to the signs. You look at it and you deduce, I see it's going to be like this. So maybe this is coming. So here you go. Now, I want you to take a close look at this because it's going to tie into King Trump, which everybody's freaking out about. Long live the king. Even people give me a hard time because I'm like, well, he is. This is it. Get used to it. All right? This is it. I said it was coming. I'm not endorsing it. Okay? I'm hoping it's going to be all right. Right now, the groceries aren't looking too good. Everything's very expensive. And, Elon said, you better get ready to buckle up. You better get ready to watch your purse because it's going to be a shocking transition. Thousands of people are out of their jobs already. But there's talk that, we're going to get like $5,000, right? That would be nice. That would pay some bills for me. I wouldn't mind it. People are like, you can't buy off me. I'm like, you already are under the rule. There's nothing you can do. There's really nothing you could do. When God's decided to do something, he's decided to do something. If he wants to take these people out of the way, he'll take them out of the way when it's time. That's why we need to get right. We need to work together. But take a look. He's holding King Trump in his hand. He was about to move him, and in the show I talked about how he would move him into place, and that's exactly what happened. He moved him into place. But Malay, this guy that everybody's like, oh, he's a hero, the guy who dressed up as the anarcho-capitalist with the trident, because that's a normal thing to do, right? When you go to one of your events, dress up like a superhero, and then make, have people lose how much money? How much money? These meme coins, man, they've deregulated everything. I'm not into crypto. I'm not into meme coins. I don't know anything about it. I'm glad you're here. I don't think I've asked anybody to hit the like. Will you do me a favor? Hit the like. I got to be honest. I need support. I need you to hit the like. I need you to share. I need you to comment. I have people that DM me all the time, that talk to me all the time. And I'm starting to tell them, I'm like, I don't see you're sharing my videos around. It's like, would you mind helping out a little bit? Doesn't take much. The system's against me, right? It's been for a while. I'll show you. I can just go to Google right now and you just Google Jacob Israel in YouTube. You won't find me. Not for pages. And I'm the number one YouTuber on YouTube named Jacob Israel. There's nobody bigger by the name Jacob Israel. So you'd think that Google would maybe show me, as opposed to like other people called Jacob Israel with like 10 subs and 15 subs and 1,000 subs. Just stinks. Whole thing stinks. Whole system's rigged. And that's it. So you know what? I'm not worried about the outer court anymore. This is what we've been talking about on the show. I'm worried about the people that care about the things of God, the people that actually care about what I'm sharing here. I worry about you. And that's why I don't want you to be too stressed out. But let me tell you something. This is really not the best thing. Andrew Tate was talking about how he's battling the Matrix. And I said that was something to be careful and think about. And now you got Elon saying that that's what's happening. They're battling the Matrix. They're battling the Matrix. Do you think they are? Do you think they really are? Or do you think this whole thing was a big setup? I don't know. The pendulum swung one way, and it was just really, I told everybody, I said, it's going to get you so sick of like people that are dressed up as, the opposite sex reading to your children. It's going to be shoved down your throat till you're so angry that you want them to end any kind of rights that someone who's gay in America has. We're at that point, by the way. We're at that point. Trump actually had all the governors together. He brought them all into the White House. And I got to tell you something. He's a strong leader. I say it all the time. He's my favorite character in the apocalypse. And I'm pulling that God's going to use him in a great and mighty way. But I do see, that there are some people that are doing some things that are just not so, we'll say they don't seem so up and up. Like this crypto thing with Malay. I mean, he's involved in this huge scandal, right? Now, there's tangible evidence showing that there are a group of insiders that unilaterally profited off of the masses who got involved. And it was like 85% of the people took a huge loss. Now, he sold this, Malay, just so you know. He promoted it, put it out put his post out. And, he's a tantric sex guru, too, by the way. Did you know this? Did you know this about him? He has psychics for his dogs, too. Just so you know. We want to, make a hero out of everybody. Maybe he's a good guy. Maybe he's not. I don't know. I just don't think he should have gotten involved in this crypto scheme when people are hurting. People are hurting. And I don't know if he made a lot of money or not. Seems like he did. A lot of people around him did. And so they're calling for this to be looked into. The episode has led to concern about the prospects that even Solana blockchain, the underlying network who hosts Libra, because this was all about Libra. And what is Libra? Can you tell me in the live chat? We got a lot. You could just tell me. What do you think Libra is? What is Libra in astrology? What does mini tekel uparshan mean? That's right. You'll get it. You'll catch on. Keep up. So they're doing these things. They're making a lot of money. And they're doing something that people consider illegal, even though they're just rolling back regulation. Regulations, I told you, this is the golden age. It's going to become the gilded age, where you're going to have child labor soon. Even Ethan this morning was like, he's 13. He's like, oh, I want to get a summer job. I want to work at least 30 hours a week. I'm like, that's great, bud. That's great. I worked from when I was young. I can't remember not working in my life. And I will say that I'm a little concerned about Social Security, because they're going in there too. They're going in a lot of places. You just have to trust, you have to pray, and you got to believe that, God's going to work it all out. It's happening for a reason. All right. There are crooks. So we're going to not say, oh, this is all a big sham to just screw us even more, giving us hopium so that we put our faith in the dream, and then we end up, losing our job that we just got. I voted for Trump and I just lost my job. Have you seen those videos? Listen, I believe that if I said this for a long time, you're a productive member of society, you're actively, getting paid, you're employed, okay, it's going to be okay for you. Influencers like me, maybe, well, who knows? I don't know. Because it's hard to be somebody that, talks about hope and about God and everything else, because you're going to find that it's going to be their God. They're the one that's kind of approved is going to get the push. It is what it is. King Cyrus was a man of the people. He was a man of many different religions. So, and he is kind of the king, right? Even they put out this on the White House put this out. Long live the king, because of the congestion that's going on. Hochul, who, by the way, I don't like. I am so upset that Hochul even won. I even remember the night where Zeldin, when, actually after he conceded, I got to play golf next to him. I liked Lee. He's a nice guy. He seems like it. I've been in the presence a couple of times. He was actually in my neighborhood once at some kind of an event. I guess he knows somebody that lives near me or something. But we wanted Lee to win, and then Hochul comes in. I think she's related to Pelosi, and she doesn't seem like she's not a good leader. The things that she did it's just the whole thing. Cuomo, how corrupt was he? What did he do? He had to step down. We're going to see Hochul step down, because what's going to happen is, if you're not going to follow the rules and you're not going to go along with what the federal government is saying, you're going to lose funding. Hochul's up there. She has this press conference, and she says, we're not going to bow down to no king. We're New Yorkers. We fight. We're not going to bow down to no king. because there's this congestion charge. Thank you for the super chat, awakening enthusiasts. Much love to you as well with the 222 on 222, by the way. She's like, we're not going to bow down to the king. We're not going to bow down. She wants to hike up, wants to charge people more. And Trump's like, no, you're not going to charge people more because he's saying they're corrupt. They're saying they're corrupt, the whole thing. Oh my goodness gracious. Look at this. Stephen Ezel in the live chat, trulyfreehome.com. Hey, Truly Free Home. He's the guy that I'm always talking about. He's here listening in. How awesome is that? By the way, you get 300 free lows if you sign up Truly Free. The link's there. Best way to do it. Buddy Steve's doing big things, moving and shaking with Truly Free Home. Now, we got some things to talk about very shortly about this. He's going to be traveling all over the place. Thank you so much for your generous super chat, by the way. Right now, he's stretching thin. He's pushing in, and we're going to need what he's got in the works. Believe me, with everything the way it's going, my goodness gracious. But Hochul's like, what do we care? We don't really care what you say, President Trump. We're going to fight you. Within minutes, we had a lawsuit. What's good for the people? Is this good for the politics, or is this good for the people? That's what I want to know. This is what I want to know. These are the things, the day that we're in. Wizards, sorcerers. Remember Moses? He had wizards and sorcerers too. You know? Do you remember that there were like wizards, sorcerers called the Magi that came, and brought gifts to Christ? God uses all things and he works all things together for the good. Kash Patel's now the new head of the FBI, and it's just such an interesting thing. He wrote a book called The Plot Against the King. And take a look at the wizard right there. It's pretty amazing when you start to think that this is our reality. This is the world we're living in. So I don't know if you know anything about this. Let me blow this up and see if I can read this to you. Okay, Kash Patel, he is now going to release it all. This is something that, I said was coming, right? Because all the stuff with the island and the people attached to that guy and that plane and Lolita Express and all of that stuff, well, they're going to have to come to some kind of reckoning. So this book, by the way, which you can get on Amazon, it's a fantastic retelling of a terrible true story. Hillary Queenton and her shifty knight had spread lies that King Donald had cheated to become king. They claimed he was working with the Russians. But how could that be? Join Kash, the distinguished discoverer, as he uncovers the plot against the king and who is really behind all the lies. And he did this, obviously, because, so the story goes, big plot against all of that. But you know what? You know what's coming for people? You want to talk about something that I said was coming, the hammer of justice. Who remembers Batman? I've talked about the hammer of justice, right? Batman. That's an expression. And who is the Batman? The Donald the Trumpster, right? He's a superhero. He's a superhero. We got the whole team now. We got Wonder Woman. We got Tulsi. We got them all. We got them all, just like I said. Just like I said, they're all there. Kash Patel now joins the ranks. What a weird day. Well, I had a vibe. On February 4th, I had a vibe that the hammer of justice was going to be a thing again. I don't know why I put it out. I just put it out. I was telling, I tell Danielle this stuff at night. Dan and I were in bed, and I'll say, "Oh my God, this is so weird." And she's like, "What now?" And then I'll say, "Well, look at this," and I showed her this image, and it's so funny. I showed her this image, and she's like, "What? Is that's from today?" I said, "Yeah." She's like, "Well, how did you know?" She says it's all the time. How did I know? I don't know. It's just stuff that's happening at the time, and I get a little check. I'm like, that's weird, right? That's weird. This guy, it's weird. So here we have the hammer of justice is going to be coming down on, hopefully, because this is where the rubber meets the road. Okay? This is where the rubber meets the road, because there were a couple of questionable things that happened at the White House. And I'm not just talking about Paula White being the new faith leader. There's a whole thing. I think I'm going to do a Daystar update for all of you. If you think that that's something I should do me a favor, leave me in a comment section. I worked there until I was fired. when they were in a little Piggly Wiggly, reaching like just a couple of 100,000 people. And then within years, they were reaching like, billions of people and Emmy Awards and everything else. The Lord is a sense of humor. Brings me to all these weird places. Now here I'm talking about them all. Vince McMahon, Daystar Television. Well, they were just at the White House, Joni and her new husband, Doug, and they were with Paula White. By the way, if you want to see that show I did on Paula White and speaking in tongues, because there was the video going around where it looked like she was, talking, and then she would just kind of start babbling. And I know everybody has different beliefs in that. I went through a phase as well, but I like to continue to learn, right? So there's always levels of learning. We get to this point, then we get to this point, then we get to this point, and then we're like, oh my goodness, this point's kind of silly, right? So you could check out that video that I did on Paula White, and you'll learn all the ins and outs, because there's actually a hidden message in the book of Acts. That would be under the video section if you go. But anyway, so I say the hammer of justice is coming, and it's 17 days, Trump's number. 17 days before Elon posts out the hammer of justice again. Well, that's interesting. What are the odds of that happening, huh? 17 days. And there's a quote, by the way, of the hammer of justice from the Night of the Huntress. The Huntress is Artemis. Artemis and Apollo are twins, the moon god and the sun god. I love how everything seems to be so intertwined and perfectly linked. So, the reports, everything, all the files are on Pam Bondi's desk. And she's going to unload the hammer of justice, and we're excited. I don't know if it's just me, but I'm looking forward to hearing all the names. Now, here's the funny thing, because this is once again where the rubber meets the road. If he is like that King Jehu, who at first he brought them all in to celebrate him. He's like, come on in to the White House while we have our big press conference. Come on in. There's a great guy over there named Albert Bourla, the head of that organization. And everybody boos. Boo. And I'm like, read the room. What's going on there? As if he thought a room full of MAGA were going to just cheer the fact that he has the head of Pfizer there. Now, the head of Pfizer is saying all sorts of things like, we had a great working relationship during Warp Speed, that he's excited to see what's going to happen next. What happened already was you're not allowed to have those, you can't, no school can say you have to have it now. So that's, I would think to be something positive in a roundabout way. But there's some things that are like, let me play this for you, because it's very, you've probably seen it already, but let me play it for you anyway. Before we get into this this is him calling out the main Democrat about whether or not men should compete in women's sports. I guess I don't have the Bourla clip picked up, but let me play this for you, because it's great. I mean, this is so, as they say, so Donald Trump. You don't want to mess with Donald Trump. Guy's sharp. I don't know why he looks younger than he did when he was president the last time. But take a listen.
The NCAA has complied immediately, by the way. That's good. But I understand Maine. Is the Maine here, the governor of Maine? Well, are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with state and federal laws.
We are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it, because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply, because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good, I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one. And enjoy your life after governor, because I don't think you'll be in elected politics.
Yeah, your career's over. Your career is over, lady. Your career is over. This is what he says, and he's not wrong, right? I mean, is he wrong? I don't know. The whole thing with Maine is here. Let's pull this up so we'll go there right now. Trump told the governor he looked forward to the end of her political career, And of course, there's a bunch of memes going around about the governor and the way she looks. She's like, "I'll see you in court." The back and forth came in the middle of the president's remarks welcoming the nation's governors to the White House. So, it's kind of like you better kiss the ring. You know what I mean? And I'm not like putting Donald Trump down. The first time around, he said that his big mistake was that he trusted the advice of people in there. He didn't have his own team. He didn't have people that he knew were for his vision. Now things are different. Oh man, are they different, right? So, see you in court. That's what's going to happen. And I got to tell you something. This is another one of those scores, as far as I'm concerned. Men have no right to be in women's sports. Women, shouldn't be in men's sports. I mean, unless it's like, you're going to put sports together and anybody can play, that's fine too. I don't care, but it's not fair. It wasn't fair to all the athletes who trained and everything else, that they lost medals. They lost probably scholarships for this. It was horrible. Horrible. Crazy, in fact. But once again, the pendulum swang that way so that now we have to get with the program. We got to get ready to understand there's no more messing around. This is nothing new. I've been saying this for a long time. I know a lot of people they're confused on whether are you a big fan of Donald Trump's and you are a shill for Donald Trump, or you hate Donald Trump and you can't stand Donald Trump, and this is what God chose. I'm just like, I feel sometimes like I imagine Jeremiah when he was like, Nebuchadnezzar's coming. You better get your crap together. People that didn't get their crap together, they understood. Nebuchadnezzar, he moved quick. There was no time for games. This is just the way things are, my friends. And I don't think it's going to get any, we'll say, I don't think it's going to change. I think it's going to get more, very hands-on and very much controlled, because we couldn't, as a nation, do the right thing. You got people that are scamming the government, right? A lot of people scamming the government. We know that this happens. And, hardworking Americans that pay their taxes and do everything right, well, they end up, footing the bill for a lot of it. And a lot of us are struggling, I don't cut corners. When the virus of the crown hit and we locked down, I was making like maybe $600 to $700 on YouTube at the time. This is when I was working at the mattress store. And I didn't take the money. Everybody took the money. There were people that were working part-time jobs. They were getting $600 a week. They were just taking it. They're sucking it up. I know people, literally friends, who were like, they just didn't even look for work. They just kept taking the money. And I was like, I'm not going to do it on principle. Now, if they're offering it to you, it's not like you're breaking the law, but there is taking advantage. And for me to collect that unemployment, I would have been breaking the rules, because it says if you make like a certain amount of money a week or something, or a month, you shouldn't be doing it. So I didn't do it. But what I did was I doubled down on videos, and it worked out. And I grew the channel. And then when the wackadoo came around and they were going to, enforce that, I was like, bye-bye. And now here I am, still doing what I love to do, saying it's going to be very much like you don't have much of a choice. But I don't think that that's going to be a bad thing. I think that spying on people and being able to break into their phones is a bad thing. That's happening right now in the UK. The UK has been like after Apple to pull their protection and to actually create, get this, we want you to create a backdoor into people's phones so that we can get into their messages and everything else. And they're like, well, think of all the crimes and think of the things that we can do to make this, world better. Giving the government more and more and more power and control. They're supposed to be working for us, but we've been working for them for so long, and we don't have a voice. And it makes people angry because with all these changes right now, there are people that are literally losing their minds. And the sad thing is, I don't see an end to this. I see it becoming more disruptive and more stressful. So basically, this is just the law now officially gives British spies the ability to hack into devices and harvest vast amounts of bulk online data. Much of it from outside the UK, mind you, because, you know, it's not limited to just the UK. If they want to get into somebody's phone, they get into their phone. Apple said Friday they're going to stop offering this advanced data security option for British users. Offering the government reported demands for this, just caving in. You know why? Because now it's kind of like the tech oligarchs and everything else. Maybe they're in charge. You ever think about that? Maybe this is becoming that brave new world. Maybe it's already there and we're just now coming to terms with it. I mean, we got billionaires saying, hey, I know how to decide what job is important and what's not. The wealthiest people in the world in charge of this stuff. All we can do is hope and pray that it's going to work out. That's all we can do. And now there's a call for a third term. A third term. And I couldn't help when I saw third term in the sign, which here I'll show you on the thumbnail because I don't think I pulled it anywhere else. At first I thought of like the Third Reich. I don't know why I saw that picture and that was I read it the wrong way or whatever. Oh, and that's Steve Bannon, by the way, giving his heart to the world. A lot of people giving their heart to the world lately. By the way, I don't know if it's, a Yahtzee salute, as they say. But if it were anything, it's probably like a Roman salute. That's probably what they're doing. If they're doing anything, maybe they're just saying they want to give their heart to the world. But you would think, when you're done giving a speech, Steve Bannon, you would think you wouldn't do something that would be so triggering. And then he gave I don't know if you know this, Bannon says that he actually thinks that Elon's a bad guy. I don't know if he's changed his opinion. He actually said that he was going to, talk Trump into, parting ways with him. It's nice to see that everybody's united over there. But then he was given an interview and he was like, the real enemy is, it's not Israel and the Jews in Israel. It's the billionaire. It's just the talk. We've entered into this is the twilight zone. All right. This is my thumbnail. If that tells you anything about where we're at, this is, and where is this? For Trump 2028 and beyond. And beyond. Yeah. President for life. Now here's a wacky thing. You think that the old Jacob did a show about him being president for life? I actually even had a thumbnail. You can barely make it out in this picture here, where I had Xi, Putin, and then I had a question mark on Trump back from, good grief, 2020, July 19th. And 55 months, 3 days. Third term, 55 is that big number that we've been talking about on the channel recently, for whatever reason. It's the fifth letter is E. Some people are like, 55 is it's an occult number. 5 is the number for grace. 5 is also how many wounds Christ has. So 5 is a very significant number. So when I see 55 months in between my posts and they're asking for a third term, which he was joking about, right? And Trump, that's the thing that Trump does, is that he'll troll people. He says, we call it a little bit of trolling. And so he leans into the idea and he actually says, should I run again? Should I? And everybody starts chanting 4 more years, 4 more years. But isn't it strange that here we're talking about a president for life? Not too long after 55 months ago. 55 months ago. I mean, the third term is coming. Is the third term here? Some people say that he was already in charge because, they do that stuff in other countries. You know how like you'll get like Netanyahu, he'll be in this position, then he'll be in another position, then he'll come back to that position. And, the more you look at this stuff, you start to think it's like, are they just changing? Are they just changing the title? Is it nothing has changed? I don't know. Wayne Walton says, thank you for the super chat, by the way, Wayne. Apparently the word Neuralink calculates the number 666. Something worth taking into. I'll look into it. I won't be looking into getting the Neuralink. If you didn't see my last live show about Grok to understand. Grok, that comes from stranger in a strange land, means to merge, to understand. God, Grok's going to give you all the answers. I like having access to AI and all that stuff. I do. I don't put my faith in it. I don't even know if what it says to me is you got to still verify everything. You don't know what to trust, but Grok to understand. You know what? If you want to understand things, you know where you go to understand? You go to the Lord. You don't go to Grok. You don't go to Grok. You don't go to the G, rock. The G, top G. I don't know. So anyway, this is a grassroots project. It's called the third term project. Represents a controversial push to amend, guess which amendment, on 222 Day, the 22nd. Spearheaded by figures like Andy Ogles, he's a Republican in Tennessee, who introduced the resolution January 2025 to initiate. The initiative argues that Trump's leadership is uniquely essential to reverse the nation's decay and restore America to greatness. Now, here's an interesting thing. Mail-in ballots and all that stuff. I think we're going to go back. If you remember that Economist magazine cover that had the mail-in ballots, and we talked about this, where I said we're going to see, it's going to be we're going to go back to that handwritten ballot type of thing. Some people are saying now that Donald Trump is calling the United States Postal Service into task. They want to privatize it. Even though the Postal Service is supposed to be for the people. Just so you know, it's not supposed to be something that makes money. It's supposed to be like a service that the government provides. Should be, my opinion, free. Shouldn't even have to, pay for stamps and anything else. We pay enough in taxes. But it's going to be privatized. So some people are like, oh, well, now you're going to be in charge of the mail-in ballots too. I don't think we're going to be doing mail-in ballots for much longer. I think things are going to be very different. Very, very different next election. But anyway, it's spearheaded by this representative, and there's a lot of traction for it. At CPAC, groups like the Republicans for National Renewal rallied support. Proposal faces steep hurdles, as they say, because it requires 2/3 majority in both the House and Senate, followed by a ratification by 38 states. And they say it's a near impossible task with such a political divide. Newsflash, probably a lot of people on the other side. If this is on the up and up, and they're going to really reveal things, I dare say a lot of people will be resigning in Washington. I dare say. Now that the all the evidence is out there, who's going to stick around? I don't think they're going to have a problem putting this through. You even think about it, a third term, it's not 3 consecutive. It's like you can have a third term, you're allowed 2 consecutive. Like if you should be allowed 2 consecutive, you should be allowed. See where this goes? And now I put a question out to people because, we have all these beliefs that we've been told, and we think that, it's a bad thing to go against it. Like it's a bad thing that someone should be able to run a country for more than 8 years or whatever it is. It's a bad thing. Not just because that's the way it's been. That was to protect from tyranny and dictators and everything else. I'm pretty sure that boat sailed a long time ago. Is it just me that feels that way? That we never really were in? We're just being tricked and convinced to think that we have some say? As we're divided more and more, and we're given more and more people to hate? Neighbors, Yeah, hey, people don't even talk to their family members over politics now. A divided house can't stand. We are not a united people. So I think that boat has sailed, but I could be wrong. Maybe democracy is finally coming back. But is it a bad thing for him? You got to let me know in the comments section, especially if he does a good job. I mean, like, if he does a great job, would you want somebody else to come in and screw it up? People were saying that things were on a good track when he was the president the first time. And then look what happened after, right? Do you want that to happen again? These are the arguments that are being made. I don't have the answers. And I'm certainly not going to tell you, what I think when it comes to that, because what I think is, I don't think we have a say. So I guess I am going to tell you, I don't think we have a say. I think we just have to do the right thing, and I trust that God is in control. And I believe that the stuff that's going to happen going forward over the next, we'll say, couple of years, it's going to be good for some people, and it's going to be bad for a whole bunch of other people. And you're going to be rooting and cheering for the bad that happens to the other people because they're going to be demonized. Like already everybody that's been fired, people are saying, these are people that are not coming into work. These are people that are lazy and they're not meeting they're making it out like you're paying all this money for these lazy sacks that work for the government. Right, Veronica? Thank you for the super chat. 4:14 a.m. Are you getting up or are you going to sleep? I hope you're getting up. The early bird gets the worm. I mean, the government the way it is right now. I don't know. Third term. So, but people cheered. Let me see if I can play this for you. People cheered. 4 more years. 4 more years. I got to tell you, if he does a great job, I'd be okay with it. But I want to also point out that right there. This happened at 4:20, by the way. Okay, Eastern Standard. I measure everything by Eastern because I'm in Eastern time. All right, take a listen.
I won't be happy the next time. Should I run again? You tell me. There's your controversy right there. There's your controversy.
Look at him. He's loving it. He's loving it. Laughing it up. Just like he did when Borla was booed. Just like he did when Borla was booed. Now, I said read the room for a reason. Some people took it as, oh, Trump's endorsing this guy and you're calling it out. If he is endorsing it, that's what I'm doing. Other people are like, I love when Trump does this. You got to tell me if you think that this is what's happening. If you think that he brought in all those big pharma heads and he called him a good guy, if he was just saying that like a Jehu who says, come on over. Yeah, it's going to be great. You think Biden treated you well? Wait till you see what I do. That's what Jehu did. This is the biblical king that I've talked about on the channel. These are archetypal characters, so I can easily fit a world leader into that position because scripture says there's nothing new under the sun. So whatever has been is now. And whatever is now will be again. It's kind of depressing if you think about that because it makes it sound like you're in some kind of a cosmic loop until the day of the Lord where Borla booed. You know what Trump does? He goes like this and he laughs. He laughs. Which makes me think, I hope that they're held accountable. I hope and I pray, because this is what we've said on the channel. I said, one day, you don't worry, you hold on. You're not going to, you're not going to lose everything. One day, all of this corruption is going to be revealed. One day, I said, at the height of the pandemic, I said, one day, I said, this isn't going to be forever. I said, stop panicking, stop worrying. You're not going to die. A lot of people lost their homes. They lost their businesses. Suicide skyrocketed. By the way, in D.C., there was like a little graph of what's been going on since this administration took over. A lot of people have decided to check out. Now that Kash Patel's in his position, which is just an interesting thing to see. We're going to find where the rubber meets the road. He actually went to, he was at CPAC, I believe it was CPAC, and he was wearing Punisher socks. You know the Punisher from, I think it's Marvel? Punisher, he's got a skull. He was wearing the Punisher socks. Punisher. Correction is here, my friends. It's nothing we can do about it, but just be like, it's all right. Help us, Lord. Do the right thing. So far, everything that Donald Trump said that he was going to do, he's doing. Is he doing it to enrich the elite more? And he told you, and you're cheering him for it? We're going to have to see. We're going to have to see if people are going to be able to afford groceries in a year's time. We're going to have to see if people are going to end up losing their homes and, or they're going to be smart city little developments going in. Oh, you don't need a big place. We're going to put everybody in a smaller area. It's better for everybody. We're going to see if they're going to do they're going to pull a NEOM here in the United States of America. You know what NEOM is? It's that huge building that it's a mirror. They're planning on putting a lot of people in so that all the wealthy people, they just see, they see desert. They don't see they don't have to see the peasants. I don't really believe that these people that have this wealth in them, because I've worked for them, they don't see us as being equal. They don't talk to us like we have or deserve any kind of respect. They are very much like the rich man in that parable with Lazarus. Very much the crumbs. The crumbs of the table. Are we getting the crumbs? Are they really here for us? My experience with very, very wealthy people, they don't give a crap about you. Talking about powerful, wealthy people, and I've worked for them. I've worked for Vince McMahon, right? I've worked for these people. Now, Donald Trump, I have heard from people that work with him, is a good guy, and he does care about his employees. So we pray and hope that's the case. But overall, do you think Mark Zuckerberg cares about you? He grows some, he grows some curls and grows a little bit of a beard and staring at, the boobs of Jeff Bezos' fiance at the inauguration. Like, who dresses like? Do you think Bezos cares about you? You think Bill Gates cares about you? You think any of these people care about you? I want to see them held to account. You know that they've done things wrong. You know that they're corrupt. I want to see them held to account. I want to see what Donald Trump said he was going to do. I want to see it. And I believe that if enough of us see it, maybe we will literally see it. He called that governor. He's like, no more. No more are you going to have men and women's sports. But then the question becomes, was that part of the plan? Or are they really rooting out all this stuff? I want to believe they're rooting out just such evil. In the scripture, it would be like the beast system coming in against the horse system. Nebuchadnezzar, he becomes a beast, right? To wicked people, he will be a beast. Do you get what I'm saying? He will be. But the scripture says very clearly that God's people, those that are doing the right thing, those that are, compassionate and empathetic, that we're marked off during this time, that we can't be hurt, that we can't be touched. It's the Tav. That's the mark. It's the 22. And it's an interesting thing. It's an interesting thing because we have, people like Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker. Did you see him at the BAFTA Awards where his pants were falling down? Shame. Public humiliation. And don't you find it strange that he's the one guy that really was so anti, Trump? Now he's ridiculed, shamed publicly. I couldn't get away from the fact that there was a big 8 on their podium with 2 E's. By the way, E is the 5th letter, so there you have 55. And speaking of people that I think are, should be shamed for being just not so great, covering up a lot of horrible crime, is the Pope. Yeah, that's right. He was in the hospital, and it looks like he may be okay, but he's 88 years old. People are pointing out on online that he's going to be 88 years old in 88 days on March 15th. So there's like a poll going on that he's going to pass away there. Pope has not been, very, very upfront and upright with making sure that people were protected. Recently, there's been a push, but his top people were accused of horrible things. Top people. Corruption, right? Here we have the church, the Catholic Church. It's big. And it's got its big new push going on. Going to be a change of leadership there too. The whole world's changing. By the way, that's one of their conference rooms where he often speaks and holds events. And of course, it is a snake. But they said that a rainbow appeared above the Gemelli Hospital, which comes from the word twin, duality, twin. Strange. You know what else Trump hinted at? This is if you miss this one, you're going to want to see this. He hinted at maybe chemtrails. He suggests that the rising rates of autism among children could be linked to U.S. government possibly spraying something in the air. And also today, I don't know if you heard, he said Elon's doing a great job. I want him to become more aggressive. I don't know if you've heard about Elon when it comes to, they call him a demon sometimes. They say that he could be that passionate and aggressive. I like Elon. I like the story that's being told. I just don't know how much faith I can put in these people caring about little old me. I have to trust that God's got that worked out, And these are the people that for how many years did I see? And then here they are. I've been a little scared. I'll be honest. I'm excited. Been a little scared, though. I've been a little scared about the direction things are going in. Because I feel very much like we really have not much control at all. So we have to really trust in God. It's a scary thing to be in the hand of the Lord. Scary thing. But in the end, it all works out. He's saying right now, I don't know if you heard this, Rhonda Peterson. Thank you very much. I'm her favorite meatball. Thanks for the super chat, Rhonda. He's going to get more aggressive. You want more aggressive? He's like, I'll do it. Yes, sir, Mr. President, sir. It is entertaining. He said, let's make comedy legal again. I don't think it's ever been illegal, but, people have taken it a little bit too far in many areas. I don't know. You got to tell me whether or not the things that are going on you see as positive. I see it as all positive. I really do. I'm not putting my trust in these men, but I know that God chose them for a reason. For all I know, down the road, I could end up, saying the wrong thing and find myself in the middle of some kind of a square. People throwing rotten apples or tomatoes at me or worse. I don't know. Because it could go that direction too. It's just such a weird and interesting time to be alive. And I'm grateful that I've been given the opportunity to, you all kind of experience it with me over the years. So do me a favor, will you? Support the channel so that I can continue doing this. I am on Indeed.com looking for new work. I want to supplement this because let me show you, just so you know. I'm going to show you. Because this has been going on for years, okay? I don't know what it is about my content or whatever else that is so threatening, but if I type in, we'll say Jacob Israel YouTube. That would be funny if the algorithm messes with me now and all of a sudden I pop up. But you'd think that I'd pop right up, right? Okay, so here we have one. That's not me. That's not me. This isn't me. None of these guys are me. That's not me. That's not me. Not me. Not me. There's stats about me, but that's not, you can't find me there. Let's go over here. Let's go to round 2. That's not me. That's not me. That's not me. Jacob Israel official with 270 followers. Guess what? That's not me. That's not the official Jacob Israel. It's just Jacob Israel. There's my Patreon, which, by the way, if you want, let me click on that so you can just take a look at it. I would love for you to be a member of Patreon. We're going to meet up tomorrow. Anybody over $5, if you want. I don't have that many people really following me. But all you that are here, a lot of people are like, even free members. I'm grateful for it. But look at this. That's not fair. This has not been fair to me. So you got to go to the 3rd page to find my channel, and I'm the biggest one on YouTube. You try finding me on Facebook, try finding me on, it's not fair. But life isn't fair, right? So then the question becomes, God's in charge of that too. Why am I complaining? I would love it if you all could help me a little bit. And if you like the channel, remember to hit the like button. Leave me a comment. Just say, hey, how you doing, Jacob? These things help. If you want to support the channel financially, because YouTube is not cutting it anymore, Patreon would be a great way. You could buy a copy of the novel. Truly Free Home right now. Get some free product. It's great. And it's toxic free. It's environmentally friendly. Proceeds go to help, victims. I mean, the whole company is just awesome. But here's the thing. I can't reach more people without you. I don't know if you've noticed the views lately. And it's not just happening to me. It's happening to other people. Here's the thing. If you love the videos and you love what I'm sharing and you are grateful for it, and maybe I've gotten you through a hard time or something because, God willing, things that I say have, encouraged you, then don't just tell me and then not do anything about it, When Moses was tired, he had people holding up his arms. I need help. I need help. I do. Once I get another job, maybe I won't be asking as much help because you know what? God's in charge. It's fine. If this is drying up, it's drying up. I know that the content that I'm doing is awesome. I know that my heart's in the right place. I know that God's doing what God's doing, but it's a call to action. Help. Share the videos. Tell people about it. Leave a comment. It matters. Watch a video. If you see it and you're like, oh, I'll check out the next one, just click on it and check it out, see if you like it. Sometimes you miss something good. All right, I'm going to go. I love you all. Thank you very much. Tomorrow, Patreon, 12 o'clock, we have our meetup. It's going to be awesome. I put something in the on Patreon as a question of what we should be talking about and what we should be doing. It's fun, and you may end up even on a video yourself. All right, I love each and every one of you. I'll talk to you soon. Don't forget to share, subscribe, do all that stuff. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you, Zero Cobalt, for the last minute super chat. Appreciate it.